Welcome back to another video here on CG Fix. We got a Toyota RAV4 2017, 2016, I believe. We're doing the rear wheel bearings. It's not too hard of a job, but you guys already know my videos are straightforward. It's kind of get all this out, and get it done. Save yourself a couple dollars in your pocket. All right. After we remove the wheel, it's a 21 millimeter. You should know that by now, how to remove it, jack it up, all that stuff. And we're gonna be looking at removing the caliper, the bracket, the axle nut, the rotor out the way, and then after that is you got 4 bolts that hold in the hub. So let's go ahead and start removing the caliper bracket with the whole caliper assembly. For the caliper, you want to go ahead and put a flathead just to relieve some pressure off the caliper here. You don't need too much, it's just enough to have some play. And when you take the bolts, the bracket bolts out, these right here, 1, 2, then this whole assembly comes all in one unit. If you're reusing your rotors and pads, just be gentle with the rotor and pad, because you don't want to bang anything or scratch anything up. You're reusing it, so make sure you be gentle when you take out the stuff and prying things and all that, so you don't scratch the rotor or anything like that or mess up the pads. The caliper bolts on the back, the bracket, they're 17s. You can use a ratchet with a 17. I like to use this one because it's like a breaker bar. I broke it loose, and then I'm using this tool right here, to loosen it up. So just be careful, because once you remove both bolts, this caliper this whole assembly is gonna fall to the ground. So be ready and be prepared to catch it, so you don't potentially mess up this line. You mess up that line, you got more issues. So let me go ahead and remove this, and I'll be right back. Here's what your two 17 millimeter bolts look like, and then this whole assembly comes out. I'm gonna go ahead and just set it to the side here. I'm gonna get something to hold it. I suggest you do the same to hold it in place so it won't fall on the ground or anything. And oh, this rotor, let's see if we can take it out. This rotor's pretty in there, so we're gonna go ahead and put 2 screws here on these holes so we can push out the rotor. Because you don't want to bang it around and smack it all up. This thing is a brand new rotor, so you don't want to do that unless you're replacing it. It doesn't matter. You could go ahead and tap it on the side and stuff will come out. But we're gonna go ahead and do that, and also might do the adjuster and loosen it up a little bit. We'll see. But this 2 bolts should just take it out. And the old pile of junk here, the old bolts from previous cars that don't bring new bolts. I just take the old ones for situations that we end up needing it later on. And we're using this one, so we're gonna go ahead and use that to tighten it. And basically what that's gonna do is gonna go in and then take the rotor out, push the rotor outwards. No, I'm even doing it by hand. I might not even need the, oh, there we go, look at that. We didn't even need the tools, but sometimes it's not that easy. Sometimes you gotta go ahead and use the tool or the impact. I'm just showing you that you could do it without any special tools. Well, depending on the severity, because if your rotor's in there, rusted is rusted. You're gonna have to put some work into it, But you can see it's coming out. Rotor's getting pushed out. We kind of bottom out there almost with that bolt. There we go. And it's out. There you go. I'm gonna go towards the axle nut. So there is a locking. Let me see if I can get a little closer. You guys can see. Let me close up the camera here. Alright. See, there's a locking thing right here for the nut. You're gonna go ahead and take a flathead with a hammer and kind of pry it up and take out that locking nut, because then if you don't take that out, you're gonna potentially mess up these threads. And before we do anything, I'm gonna put WD-40 on these threads a little bit so we don't do that. And I believe that's a 30 socket 12 pin. I'll check in a second. Hold on. We're gonna use our old dusty Chicago that does the job. Let's see. All right, there we go. Old dusty Chicago does it again. This thing never fails. I had this thing since I started my channel, and it's never failed. Oh, that's pretty seized up in there. I might have to hit it a few times. Put some WD-40 in there between the axle And I'm gonna take one of these things and kind of just whack it with a hammer so you can get at least the axle to freely come loose. Sorry for the background noise. We're working on the street here. So we're gonna take a chisel and a hammer and whack it right in the middle. Get this axle loose. There we go. All right, that's what you want. Perfect. All right, let's keep on going. Now we're gonna go back to the back bolts. There's 4 bolts, 14 millimeter. The 14 millimeter bolts, this wheel bearing should come off. Hopefully it comes out pretty easy, but with the rust, I doubt it. Anyways, behind the axle, you're gonna see these bolts right here. There's gonna be 1, 2, 3, 4. Basically, it's 4. You know, 2 on each side. And here, I'll show you a reference with the new wheel bearing. Come here. So you got 2 here, 2 there. That's the easy as that. Oh, one more thing actually before we do that. We're gonna remove the ABS sensor, which is right here. 10 millimeter with a flathead. Gently remove this. Take this ABS sensor out. You want to take that out before you do any of removing the hub. This sensor was really stuck in there with that rust, so just be careful removing it because you definitely want to break it. But we were able to break it loose with some WD-40. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put anti-seize on it, so when I put it back, that won't happen again. Next time will be pretty easy, and we'll clean some of that in there. All right, well, after you remove that, let's go ahead and tackle those 4 bolts in the back. Honestly, all the way, I took these out with the 14 and the extension ratchet. Taking all of them out with this, honestly, with this method here, and it's working lovely. All right, not for the last bolt. The last bolt might be a short stubby, we'll see. Can't even see back there, but we can get it from down here. Let's see. Of course, always the last bolt. This is gonna give us an issue. Anyways, let me get a little setup for that, and then I'll give you a quick tip. But I'm using basically a 14 extension for 3 bolts. The one all the way left side over here. It's gonna have to be probably a short one with an extension. Comes the fun part, trying to remove the hub that is kind of seized. A really easy way to do it. You just gotta figure it out. It's actually moving, so that's a good thing. But we might be here for a little bit, banging it out. I didn't bring, you know, the whatever the tool that's called to hit it out, but we'll get it out. You'll see. There's a couple of whacks. I just hit myself there. So it's at least moving, you know. It's at least moving something. There we go. There we go. There we go. Just want to smack it around. Be careful you don't hit your pad or nothing, your shoe brakes. There we go. We're getting holding it. There we go. She's free, boys and girls. Yes, sir. There we go. All right. And so that won't happen again. We're gonna put anti-seize all over all this stuff, clean this stuff up real good, and that won't happen again because we'll put anti-seize, and that will never get stuck. Because usually you get stuck over here, this right here. Luckily, it's not a big old gap. You like the Subaru Outbacks, I think, or the Foresters. They have like a big, like this type of meat right here, and take that out was a pain in the ass sometimes. I took the whole knuckle out and had to press it out one time. But anyways, let me get you in here. Here you want to take a bottle of brake cleaner, clean all this stuff up, and then right here wire brush as much as you can in here. You know what I mean? Clean surfaces and all that stuff. I'm gonna go ahead and clean all this kind of rust out of the way with the brake cleaner, and then we're gonna put anti-seize on the splines here, and then put some anti-seize in here, and I'll show you what the anti-seize looks like. Once we put everything back, it's gonna be nice and you know, brand new, you know. Oh, we still got this bolt here. Forgot to take it out of there. Anyways, putting it back is simply just reassembling. You know what I mean? Taking the new one. You know, after you clean up all that stuff and everything, just lining it up exactly how you took out the old one. Oh, there goes the bag. And you know, installing it back, you know. So let's go ahead and do that. Can't get this wrong, honestly, because the back plate has the imprint. But you see there's like a circle line and a straight on the other side. straight lines in the bottom, and then the curved sides on the top. So basically make sure that the flat part's in the bottom. And I'm gonna need both hands for this, but let me go ahead and install it. I started doing the other side and I forgot to do an outro. So basically, if you guys learned anything on this video, make sure you guys give it a thumbs up, share, like. And then this is what a bad wheel bearing sounds like. Hold on. This is not super bad, but it's bad. You hear that? So every time you go faster, woo, 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 or it just makes a weird noise. And then this is the new one. No noise. This one was still good, so no noise. But you know, if they're gonna replace one, replace both. You know what I mean? You don't gotta deal with them for a while. So without further ado, if you guys learned anything on this video, make sure you guys give a thumbs up, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.